Namaste, Swagatam, Vanakkam, Buongiorno, Buonasera, Buonanotte to all my beloved members of my yoga family. Today is a very special day and it gives me great pleasure to be presenting a very, very amazing person. One of the persons who within meeting a few times, I have developed a sense of great respect, great love, great affection, and that is my dear Dr. Sanjay Malpani ji. Namaste ji. It is a great honor to have you with us, and this is a very special occasion where I can have you with us, and it means a lot to have you here with us, sir. I am going to be giving a brief introduction to sir before we go into today's topic. And today, a special group of people who belong to my Vishwa Yoga Parivaar have been brought together to listen to you. And they are all very, very interested to listen to you. So I am going to keep my introductory part short and sweet. So I request everyone to join me as we chant the Guru Gayatri and invoke the Guru Parampara. Om Tad Parampayaya Vidmahe Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guru Prachodayate. Om Yoga Maharshi Dr. Swami Gitananda Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. So once again, welcoming each and every one of you to this very special occasion where I am privileged, proud and privileged of India, someone who to me brings together the greatest qualities of yoga in day-to-day life and is spreading the message of the Srimad Bhagwadgeeta to so many thousands across the globe. Dr. Sanjay Malpani is a multi-faceted personality. He is the director of the Malpani Group, a group which is based in Maharashtra, and they are into manufacturing, real estate, green energy, water parks and theme parks. So on one side, you have someone who is an amazing business personality who has developed a very, very amazing conglomeration of institutions, yet his love for education, his love to take the message to the next generation. He is the chairman of the Sangamner College, an autonomous college, having more than 8,500 students spread over 50 acres and has the A+ grade by NAAC. Now, anybody who knows about education in India knows that an A+ grade with NAAC means your quality is amazing, amazing. So a very commendable achievement for his institution. He is the founder of the Dhruv Global School, and it's a pioneer school where the students, along with the academics, are excelling in sports, drama, dance, art, and academics. And I have seen the work they do with the yoga also. It is amazing. He is the chairman of the Malpani Yoga and Natropathy Center, where thousands of diabetic patients are getting managed with the help of yoga, and many are getting cured. And I think the most important reason why he is talking today with us on this topic is he's the national chairperson of the Geeta Pariwar, having branches in 25 states. And they, during the lockdown, have started online Geeta classes and more than 500 plus Zoom classes going on with 2,000 volunteers, reaching lakhs of people from about 82 countries. He has great interest in the Bhagavad Gita, great knowledge, and received the title of Gita Visharad, honored by Pujya Swamiji Govind Dev Giriji. And this is very interesting because our parampara is also of the Giri Dasanami. So it is very interesting that there is a link through that. When I saw that title award, I said there is a very, very strong link someplace between all of this. And I have come to know of him thanks to the International and National Yogasana Sports Federation, where he is the vice president. He is a prolific writer, inspiring orator, 66 books, columns in many newspapers, thousands of lectures. And there's just so much to talk about Malpani ji that it is a great pleasure to witness someone who has such an amazing body of work, amazing knowledge, amazing wisdom. He has shown that yes, you can mind in the external world and also have your mind focused on the internal world. And right from the first meeting in the last 6 months or so, I've developed a great affection, great respect and admiration for him. So many of you have been asking me that about the Bhagavad Gita. We have discussed the Bhagavad Gita and Swamiji step by step and all. So I said, rather than me giving you second-hand information, let's get first-hand jnana from Sanjay ji. And before I give over to him, I would like to just remind all of you that the original Mahabharata, it is described as Sanjaya Uvacha. And if you look at the concept, Dhritarashtra, the blind king, is in the Hastinapura, and the whole of the Mahabharata is described by Sanjaya, who has Divya Drishti, and from where he is, he can see what's happening on the battlefield. And it is no coincidence that Dr. Sanjay Malpani is having the shorter version, Sanjay of Sanjaya. Sanjaya is the Sanskrit version. And the moment I came to know that, I said, definitely there is a divine connection. So it gives me great pleasure, sir, to invite you to address all of us, my Vishwa Yoga Parivaar, with students from different parts of the country and different continents, and many senior members who I'll introduce at the end of the talk when we go in for any questions and points. So welcoming you, sir, to address us today on a topic that you have given, which is so intriguing, Ashtang Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Namaste ji, namaste.
Namaste to all of you. I am feeling really blessed to be part of Vishwa Yoga Parivaar, the global family of yoga. We have Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that we say that the whole world is a family for us. I am really feeling blessed because a person whom I met somewhere around 6 months back, and I am a great fan of him, and I keep on listening to his lectures. And wherever he speaks, I wish I must go there and get some more knowledge regarding yoga. It's amazing personality, Dr. Ananda Balyogi Bhavanani ji. I bow down to you, and you are one of the guru figure for me. Pranam, and pranam to all of you. I bow down in front of all of you. As Sir said, that I am going to give the first-hand information. Let me first clear that I am still a student, and every day I am going on reading and getting new dimensions from Bhagavad Gita. So I don't claim that I know everything, but yes, I must tell you the incidents, how I came into this journey. By birth, I came with a golden spoon in my mouth in an industrialist family. There is nothing less. प्रभाव ही प्रभाव है, अभाव किसी चीज का है ही नहीं. Everything is amply available, and until the age of 47, I was a student of management. And coincidentally, with the grace of my Guruji, Swami Govindadev Giriji Maharaj, I started reading Bhagavad Gita and I started relating it with my businesses, because I have a family of 3,500 workers spread over 8 different states of India. So many parks, so many sites going on. There are so many factories. We produce more than 150 FMCG products, 600 plus megawatt green energy manufacturing, and busy in earning money all the time, thinking of it. And all of a sudden, I came across this tiny book, 700 shlokas only. And when I started relating that book with my day-to-day life, my concepts regarding management started getting very clear, that what I need to do in Bhagavad Gita. This Bhagavad Gita starts with Dhritarashtra, as Guruji explained just now. Sir explained it, that it started with the blind king of that kingdom, and who was father of 100 Kauravas. There was the battle going on between 100 Kauravas and 5 Pandavas. So that in the battle, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye, in the both, there was 7 Aukshohini army with Pandavas, and 11 Aukshohini army was with Kauravas. And in between, that chariot, which was driven by Lord Krishna, Arjuna asked him to take the chariot in between. So he came there, and you all know that what Bhagavad Gita is, you must be knowing about it. In between that, Arjuna sat down, and he started thinking that I'm going to kill so many people, and in both the sides I have so many relatives around me, and I am going to make my own sisters and aunt's widow, so I don't want to do this. And so he sat down, and there the Bhagavad Gita chapter 1 starts, and he asks that Dhritarashtra, who is the father of Kauravas, he asks Sanjaya that what is going on there, please explain me, because he was blind, he was not there in the battlefield. So he was very much interested to know that what exactly is happening there. So Dhritarashtra Vacha, that is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yutsavaha mamakah pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. What is happening there on the battlefield? Please tell me that mamakah pandavaschaiva, my sons, 100 sons, Kauravas and Pandavas, 5 people, what they are exactly doing. Please tell me what is happening there. This particular shloka started with a blind person, and the last shloka, the 700th shloka of Bhagavad Gita, is said by that Divya Drishti Prapta Sanjaya, the special vision, who got that special vision from Maharshi Vyasa. He said, Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishno, Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha, Tatra Shrir Vijayor Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Yatra Yogeshwar Krishno. It is not only Krishna. And it was not Krishna who was telling that Bhagavad Gita Gyan, it was Bhagavan. That particular, because in whole of the Mahabharata, whenever Krishna said something, it was said under the banner that Vasudeva Uvacha, son of Vasudeva, is speaking. But in Bhagavad Gita, it is said Bhagavan Uvacha. It is never said Vasudeva Uvacha or Krishna Uvacha. So, though the body of Krishna is saying something, he was the medium, but the knowledge which was coming out was from Bhagavan, that is from the Almighty. And in the fourth adhyaya, in the first shloka itself, Krishna tells about it. But the first shloka starts with Dharma kshetre kurukshetre, the dha word starts there, Dharma kshetre, the word, and the alphabet, the. And the last shloka ends with Matir Mamma. Rma is the last word. Last alphabet is Rma. And if we collaborate these two words, the word comes Dharma. Dharma. That is the beauty of this book. And all 700 shlokas are telling something about Dharma. So for me, my business was my Dharma. Because I have a family of 3,500 people, I have to cater them. They are dependent on me. So all of a sudden, after reading Bhagavad Gita or after reading yoga, I cannot become sannyasi. But I understood the definition of sannyasi also in Bhagavad Gita. that there is no difference between sannyasi and karma yogi. Karma yogi means a person doing his own karma, his own duties. There is no difference. The only thing is paradigm shift. And I understood that this is an amazing book for me while doing my own business, while catering services for my customers, while taking care of my 3,500 people's family. I don't need to leave anything. I just need to do a paradigm shift. I need to see from a different angle. So I started reading this book with great enthusiasm because I started learning that this is not a book where we need to keep that book in a temple and worship it. No, it is a book of management. This knowledge was told on the battlefield and not in a cave of Himalaya where some Siddha yogi is saying something. No, it was not like that. It was told in between the battlefield, and we too are constantly fighting some or other war in our day-to-day life. Now we are fighting a war with Corona. So it's a war again. And every day we have war, every moment we have war to fight against. So while fighting, what kind of yoga Krishna, that Yogeshwar Krishna is expecting? Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna. He was Yogeshwar. The god of yoga is telling you something. And I was amazed to read that book as a management book. And I'm going to talk to you about Ashtanga Yoga as management of personal life and nothing else. I'm not going to talk to you about something spiritual, something above the level, because I am a common person. I'm fighting war every day. Every day is a crisis situation. Every day I have to do some kind of firefighting. And you will not believe that in these 4 or 5 years from when I started reading this amazing book, I found a great transformation within me. A great transformation. And so I'm going to talk about all those experiences that I have become a yogi now. And there is no difference in yogi and sannyasi. How to make this difference and what paradigm shift should come from within is yoga. Then I started in detail that what is yoga, what is yoga. Then I came across Patanjali Yoga Darshan, where Ashtanga Yoga has been explained. And I started finding out the references, that what are the references I can find in Bhagwadgeeta about Ashtanga Yoga as well. And in last 1 year, from June I started, in 9 months I can say, I started preaching Bhagwadgeeta every Saturday, Sunday, and I started telling the meaning of Bhagwadgeeta. And by this time, we have reached to 1,15,000 people across 82 countries. And I am talking about Bhagwadgeeta since last 1 year, and I have been honored with the degree of Gita Visharad. So again, that degree is that doesn't count anything because I enriched myself so much that all the degrees are really very small in front of that knowledge which I have gained. Here in 4th chapter, Bhagwan Krishna himself says that imam vivaswate yogam proktavan ahamavyayam. I'm not going to tell you anything new. I'm going to tell you the thing which was existing before and which is going to be there forever. And I myself have said this to Vivaswan. Vivaswan means sun. Imam vivaswate yogam proktavan ahamavyayam vivaswan manave praha manurikshwakave bravit. Now the tradition started that Vivaswan, that son, he told this yoga to Manu, and from Manu it came to Vidu, and that parampara started, that legacy started. Ivam vivasvate yogam proktavan hamavyayam vivaswan manave praha manurikshwa kave bravit evam parampara praptam. Parampara praptam means somebody told to other, then other told to somebody else, and the legacy is continued. Evam parampara praptam imam rajarshayo viduhu. It came till Vidu, the king Vidu, It came till Vidu and then it vanished because it was not passed on further. Rajarshayo Viduhu. Sakale neha mahata yogo nashtah parantapa. After that, yoga got vanished. No, because nobody was knowing it. But the same knowledge I am going to tell you again today. And then he started telling about it. So here I just want to tell you that it is nothing new. It was nothing new even when Bhagavan Krishna told it to Arjuna. It was nothing new. It was there and it is going to be there because it is Shashwat. It is going to be permanent. Now in Ashtanga Yoga, you all know about Ashtanga Yoga. I don't need to tell you more about Ashtanga Yoga, which starts with yama and niyama and asana and pranayam, pratyahar, dhyan, dharana, dhyan and samadhi. So these are the steps. We say that there are 8 steps. No, there are 6 steps only. The first step starts with asana. And what is yama and niyama? When we climb a staircase, that time we have to take support of a railing. That railing is continuous. It doesn't stop in between. When we are going up and up and up, there is a railing continuously going with that staircase. Yama and niyama, these are the 2 things which are railing. And the step starts with asana, then pranayam, then pratyahar, then dharana, then dhyan, and then samadhi. So we need to understand this first, that yama is sayama. Yama means sayama, few things which we need to control, Now here, when we talk about sayama, you all know what are the 5 things which are called yama. That is ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya and aparigraha. These are the 5 things which are defined in yama. When we go to 16th chapter of Bhagwadgeeta, the divine values have been explained in first 3 shlokas of Bhagwadgeeta. And the second shlok starts with ahimsa. Ahimsa satya krodhas tyaga shantir paishunam chapalam. Most of these things which are explained in yama are called as the divine values of a person, explained in Bhagavad Gita in a broad way. Almost 28 things which are explained in these 3 shlokas. But when I see that we need to do some kind of sayama in yama, the first thing is here the brahmacharya. Now, generally brahmacharya is explained in such a outer way that it is just related to body touch. It's not so. Here brahmacharya in India, now there are so many people, those who have joined here from this global family, they must have seen our temples. And in temples in India, and especially in temple in Madhya Pradesh, the middle part of India, you will be able to see that all Kama Sutras are explained on the territory, on the boundary wall of all the temples there. Especially in Khajuraho, if you go to a temple, you will see so many postures, all the yoga postures, that too doing the divine sex. You can see that those postures on the periphery. So brahmacharya, which we think about, is on periphery. It is outer thing. The basic brahmacharya is in between. We have to go within the temple, and we cannot just stay on the peripheral part of a temple. We have to go inside, and inside there is divine deity of gods inside the temple. So the journey starts from outer things, but we have to go inside. That is the inner virgin. We have to go within. Here in yoga also, Ashtanga yoga also, yama, yam niyam is the railing again. Asana, pranayam and pratyahar. These are the three things which we can feel from outside. So we call it Bahya Ranga Yoga. But what is Antaranga Yoga? Antaranga Yoga means something which goes inside. We have to find it out, that what is happening inside. That starts with dharana, dhyan, and samadhi. That happens within. And to make it happen, all these basic things which we have to start with. So they call us to start with asana. They tell us to start with asana. But before that, yama and niyam are very important. We have to follow a few niyamas as well. So the checklist is very important, that these are the things which we have to do every day. We cannot just accept that aaj nahi kiya to chal jayega. No, we cannot do this. There is no holiday for yoga. There is no holiday. And I must tell you, since last 5 years, when I have started understanding this, I'm genuinely doing it. And I could see the bliss from within. If you want to come out of all the sorrows, you have to follow the path of yoga. And in Bhagwadgeeta it is said, prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyo pajayate prasanna chetaso yashu buddhi paryavatishthate. Buddhi means your intellect. Unless your intellect, you stabilize your intellect, nothing can happen. But to stabilize your intellect, the brain, what has to be done? The inner flow of bliss must keep on flowing, which is called Ananda and Paramananda. There is a basic difference between Sukha and Ananda. Sukha is something which is coming from outside and we can feel it from outside. But Ananda cannot be felt from outside. It comes from within. So I have a very nice bed to sleep and an air condition, keeping the weather of my room, the temperature of my room enjoyable. So that is all Sukha. But there is no guarantee that even after having an air condition and a nice bed for myself, sleep is not guaranteed. It's not so that I will be able to sleep if I have a good bed. No, it's not so. Even on good bed, people are unable to sleep because so many things are going on inside. They're not allowing them to sleep. The war is going on here. The war is going on here. We want to come over to win that particular war. That is called buddhi pratisthate. Pradnya pratisthitaha. Here it has been said that prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. The inner bliss is called prasada. The happiness which flows from within is prasada. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. All the sorrows which are coming from outside, you can control them from the inner bliss. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso yashu buddhi parivar. The moment the inner flow of happiness starts flowing out, your brain stabilizes. Your pradnya gets pratisthit. You get stabilized. So this is really amazing mantra which you get from Bhagwadgeeta, and there you start thinking about how to do it, and then it comes to asana. But when it is yama means control. Few things I must tell you, 3 basic things which we all need to control, and they all starts from C. Control C. What is that C? See, B, A, B, C, D, B and D is always there, and there is a C in between. And B is for birth, and D is for death. And that C is in between. And that birth is not in our hand, and that D is death is not in our hand. That C is definitely in our hand, and that C is for choice. That with what choice we wish to live this life. This is an amazing life, I tell you. Though every day there are fires going on around me, but if I have an inner bliss of happiness, I can control that outer fire. And I've experienced this in last 5 years, that in my business, so many ups and downs are always there, and I am still blissful from within. And a basic paradigm shift came in my life, and I thought that I must take this essence to the world, because this can really change, and I don't need anything for that. I don't need to spend anything on it. I just want to tell my experiences, and people will change. And I have seen people changing. Even though those who are in hospital fighting with corona, they are coming and joining every day without fail. Doctors, those are treating, they are coming and joining every day, and they are trying to learn Bhagavad Gita. They are trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, and they are finding that yes, it is getting changed. So which three C's? That C, choice. So we have a choice where to keep on comparing with each other. Comparison, the C of comparison. The C of copying somebody. We have to come out of it. Don't copy anyone. Bhagavad Gita itself says, Paradharmo bhayavaha. Paradharmo bhayavaha means if you try to follow somebody else, that I want to become like him, I want to gain things which he's having, that will result in great sorrow. So comparison, copying, and competition. You should compete with yourself and not with anybody else. So even in the market, when I was competing with my competitors, I started ignoring them. I started focusing on myself, that my competition is not with anybody else, but my competition where I am today and where I am going to be tomorrow. That competition I started to look into. There should be competition, no doubt about it, but that competition is with me. And I started challenging myself that in Sarvangasana, if my legs are going up, whether I will be able to stretch myself little further, and I can do the best of the best Sarvangasana, whether I can balance myself in Shirshasana or whether I can balance myself in Vrukshasana. I started challenging myself. I started competing myself. And I tell you, that was a bliss. When I started balancing myself in a better way than yesterday, I started becoming happy from within. So these three C's, I stopped looking at. That comparison, copying, and competition. I got rid of it and I came out of it. And I tell you my experience that I'm always blissful now. Krodha gone. That anger totally gone. Because why the anger was there? I understood that because I am competing with somebody, I am getting angry. I am trying to copy somebody, so I am getting angry. And I came out of it, and slowly my anger started coming down. It was amazing experience for me. I started following few niyamas as well. I have committed with myself 3 commitments. That C for commitment. C wo B, D ke beech wala C. Remember it. That is my choice. I have committed myself that yes, I am going to be an early riser and I am going to do every day 1.5 hours for myself. I am going to do this yoga, this pranayam, this dhyana dharana. I am going to do it every day. And I started doing it. And I tell you, I started getting so many wonderful experiences. Yoga is all about Sahayoga. Yoga is all about Sahayoga. Sahayoga means cooperation, helping each other in whatever way I can. I started helping others, and without reason, I started helping. Whether somebody is in need or not, it is my need to help somebody that I started doing. It's my need. And at the end of the day, I started counting that whether I have done this or not today. It is my need. I have to do it. And I tell you, the inner bliss which I could get when I try to help somebody. See, helping doesn't mean that every time you have to give some money or give something to somebody else. You can give happiness. You can give some of your good thoughts. You can counsel them. You can talk to them. You can stabilize them. This is also Sahayoga. And when I started doing this, I thought I'm going a step ahead in my life, because with others, those who are coming in touch with me, and I'm trying to help them out honestly, the bond started becoming stronger. The bond of love between each other, and the positive energy started flowing. I tell you, those who always stay in negative mentality, these people are definitely bound to get some kind of roga, because yoga and roga, these are the opposite words. Yoga, roga means corona is a roga. So something which is wrong with you is roga. And yoga and roga are the opposite words, which I found. And when I started doing Saha Yoga, automatically roga started going out. My sugar was on boundary line some 5 years back. And now I keep on checking every month. I tell you, in last 3 years, my sugar is constant. And now the mango season is there and I'm eating enough mangoes now. No problem. It's bliss from within. And you can control your own diabetes. You can control your pulse rate. You can control your hypertension. Amazing results I started getting. And I started coordinating. Commitment, cooperation, and coordination. These 3 C's I could found from niyama. Every day I have to coordinate with myself, with my family. Myself means my coordination of my body, my mind, my breathing. Everything should coordinate. So while doing yogasana, I purposely do Rechaka and Kumbhaka and Puraka. Every time Bahya Kumbhak, Antar Kumbhak, I specifically look at it, and I tell you, I started getting 75% more results than when I was doing it without this pranayam. When I was doing all that, that time only 25% results I was getting. But now, when I have started doing it with proper exhalation, proper inhalation, and proper holding of breathe, I started getting amazing results. And then I started working on it, that how I can get further more results. I am a businessman. I am investing my time, so I must get more results. And I tell you, when I started doing dharanas, affirmations, unbelievable results I started getting. While doing pranayam, while doing yogasana, I started doing dharana as well. That when I'm standing in vrikshasana, I started telling myself that my leg is getting more power. My strength is increasing. All positive affirmations, self-suggestioning. Amazing results I started getting. Somebody's asking, what is Dharma? Dharma is nothing but following your own duties is Dharma, nothing else. If you are a housewife, cooking is your duty, it is your Dharma. If I'm a student, studying is my duty, that is my Dharma. If I am a businessman, giving services to my customer, that is Dharma. If I'm a doctor, giving services to my patient, that is my Dharma. But while doing that Dharma, see, there is a karma and dharma. Karma is the thing which you are doing. That becomes dharma, that becomes karma yoga when you do that paradigm shift from within. Now, how to do that? See, if you're cooking, while cooking, you have a thought in mind that I am going to serve my family people, my son, my husband, my wife, whatsoever it may be. So we are cooking for each other, and we have a thought of my family. Now we have to broaden the concept of family. Family is not only blood relation family. That is, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is Vishwa Parivaar, that concept. Now, while cooking, I have to keep one bread, one chapati for animals. A crow is coming on my terrace. I have to keep some chapati for my crow. I have to keep one chapati for a street dog. I have a cow. I have to keep one chapati for my cow as well. I have some insects coming in like ants. I have to keep little bit for them as well. So all this Jiva Srishti, that is the all these creatures around me are my family, and I have to feed them. So it's not only creatures around me, it is all about the Pancha Mahabhuta also. So in our Indian culture, we have Agni Bhoga. Agni Bhoga means you put little bit of ghee, that is butter, on the Agni, that is fire. So even we are giving to the Pancha Mahabhutas, the Srishti around me, the nature around me. We have to take care of my nature. So this paradigm shift, okay, if you cannot do it, forget about it. You just think about it, that I am doing this for the Almighty. So when my child is eating, there is Almighty in him as well. So I'm going to feed. Even when I'm going to eat, there is somebody sitting inside. I'm going to make him happy. So this shifting the thought process is what is the paradigm shift. And that takes your karma to karma yoga. And the moment you start doing your karma yoga, that time you start following your dharma. So this is so simple definition which has been explained in this, and in niyama, shaucha, santosha, tapas, swadhyaya, and ishvara paridhan. So what is ishvara paridhan? Ishvara paridhan is about thinking that I am doing this duty for the Almighty. That is Ishwar Paridhan. So every work, whatever I am doing, now I am doing business. So I started thinking that my customer is my God. My customer is God and I have to serve him. So I cannot cheat him. That is the first rule. I cannot cheat my God. So I have to give him best of the best service. And when I'm earning out of it, so profit is coming in, that is dharma for me. That money which is coming in is my dharma, because I am a businessman. I have to earn money and I have to take care that I am paying tax, I am taking care of my country. So all these things come together and that makes your life blissful. Here, when we go to Ashtanga, it comes to asana. There are so many shlokas about asana. Here, the asana is a posture where you can sit properly without pain for a long time. Sthiram, sukham, asanam. That is the definition. But for yoga, the definition of yoga in Bhagwadgeeta is little broader than this. What is definition of yoga? Both the definitions in Bhagwadgeeta are in second chapter. The first definition says samatvam yoga uchyate. What is samatva? Samatva is balancing. Now balancing is not only related to your body balancing. It is your mind balancing. It is your intellect balancing. It is your prana balancing. So balancing is life. There should not be any extremes in your life. That is what is balancing. Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo. So that samatva is a thought process again, that whatever let happen around me, I'm going to be stable. That stability is called yoga. That stability is yoga. So even if my house is on fire and I'm watching at it, balance. Don't get excited. I started putting this habit into me. I always started introspecting me at the end of the day, that In today, how many times I was reactive. And I started finding out that I was so much reactive that if somebody comes there and if somebody tells something, I get, the burst comes out. I get angry. So I started watching myself. I started controlling myself. I started telling myself that your anger is your unconsciousness. Your subconscious mind is unconscious. That is why the anger is coming out. And at the end of anger, after some time, when your conscious comes in, that time you feel that, oh, I have done something very wrong. I should not have said these words. And I feel guilty then. But everything has happened, and then I came into the consciousness. So to keep myself conscious all the time, I started working on myself. Whenever I used to get angry, I was an angry young man, for your information. I was a very angry person. But when I started reading this Bhagwadgeeta and started understanding what is yoga, more than reactive, I became responsive. I started giving responses. How it happened? It happened when immediately after that anger, because it used to happen unknowingly when it used to happen, and when I used to understand it that, oh my God, it happened, I started counting 100 minus 3. 100 minus 3, 97. 97 minus 3, 94. 94 minus 3, 91. 91 minus 3. Here, since I am little weak at mathematics, I used to think. Now, when my mind diverted from anger to calculation, that diversion itself made the process of awakening. And I started telling myself that jage raho, be awake, don't sleep, because anger is unconscious stage of your subconscious mind. And so you have to be awake. That is what is dhyana. There is nothing else than this. This is what is dhyana. But to reach to that level, we need to do asanas. Then asana teaches you how to balance your body. When you go to different postures and asanas, you have to control your balance. But while controlling it, you have to be conscious. You have to concentrate. And then only you can control it. If you are consciously doing yogasanas, you see the difference. And when you are unconsciously doing yogasana, you don't get that benefit. So keeping yourself conscious, how it will start? The first thing is asana, how to sit. And there are beautiful shlokas in Bhagavad Gita which I could found. Shuchau deshe pratisthapya sthiramasana matmanaha. Sthiramasana matmanaha. It should be stable where you are sitting. It should be stable and clean place. Natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram. It should not be very down. It should not be on very high position. It should be in between. And you should have some kind of non-conductive mat to sit on. Chailajina kushottaram. So that is non-conductive mat should be there, because your body is a magnet, earth is a magnet, and you must have something which is not non-conductive in between earth and yourself. Then that is called good asana to work on. Tatraikagram manah krutva. Tatra. So there you sit properly. Ekagram manah krutva. You concentrate your mind. Ekagram manah krutva. Yata chittendriya kriyaha. Chitta and indriya. And their kriyas means your mind, your all 5 sensory organs, that is chitta and indriyas. And what you have to do is you have to watch the kriya, what is going on there. So what my eyes are doing, what my ear are doing, what my nose is doing, you have to check it first. And when you start watching, automatically your consciousness goes up and up. Upavishasane yunjat yogamatma vishuddhe. And start cleansing your mind. Samam kaya shiro grivam. Sama means in a straight line. Samam kaya. Kaya means your body, the upper part, the torso. Samam kaya shiro. Shiro means your head. Griva means the neck. It should be in one single line. Why so? Because both of your lungs get open and you can breathe properly, you can exhale properly. The moment you sit in a C shape, you just check it. The moment you sit in a C shape, you cannot breathe 100%. You can breathe only 20-30%. The moment you sit erect, you can breathe more. So here and all your chakras are there. So when all these chakras, you want to make them in speed, you want to bring them in speed, that time this thing should be in a straight line. So this has been explained there. And then samprekshan nasikagram swam. See, this is nasikagra, the tip of your nose here. So you have to look here. Sampreksham nasikagram swam. Now this, how this can happen? You can close your eyes half and watch here. And of course, in other shlokas, it has been explained that your concentration should be here. So when you sit in this position, dishaschaanavalokayan. Disha means all the directions. Disha means directions. And all the directions should be controlled. So whatever is coming from this way, this way, this way, dishaschaanavalokayan. Don't go out, come in. I have spent my 47 years in watching out and out and out only. I never watched inside. And the moment I started watching inside, I tell you, the transformation started happening. Prashantatma vigatabhir. The shanti, the peace, the ultimate peace started coming in. Prashantatma vigatabhir brahmachari vrate sthitaha. Manas sanyamyamachittu. See, there are 5 sensory organs, and the 6th is your mind. In 15th chapter, it has been explained. I will tell you about it. But all these 6 organs, 5 sensory organs, and the 6th one, because that 6th organ, that mind, is powerful than the sensory organs. And that mind controls all these 5 sensory organs and get his wish completed with the help of all these 5 organs. So you have to control that mind first. Manas sanyamyamachitto. That mana is mind. Sanyamya means you have to control it. And yukta asita matparah. This is what is asana in Bhagwadgeeta. When you talk about asana, you have to check your balance, your coordination, and you have to sit properly. That samatva, which is called yoga. Samatva means balancing, which is called yoga. Now, this samatva is not only while sitting, it is in eating as well. It is in sleeping as well. It is in exercising as well. Because Bhagavad-Gita explains it, yukta hara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapna bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. How to do this? Yukta ahar means my eating habits should be balanced. Yukta ahara. Ahara means whatever I'm eating is my ahara. And not only by mouth, we are eating with our ear, we are eating with our eyes. All the time we are eating WhatsApp. Yukta ahara. That WhatsApp feed is for my eyes. My eyes are so much passionate to watch that WhatsApp. Aaya kya kuch, aaya kya kuch. All the time I'm eager to watch 2 minutes. I get 2 minutes and then immediately I open my WhatsApp and watch what is in it. This is, I'm feeding my eyes. It should be yukta, balanced. How much time for WhatsApp and how much time to close it? That we need to think. How much to eat, what not to eat, how much to eat, how much not to eat, is all balance about eating. Yukta ahara, yukta vihara, yukta cheshtasya karmasu. I'm so sorry. I'm short of time now, and I could come to only asana. But I will request all of you to come once again. We can. I will be able to tell you a few more things. But if I have some more time, I can explain one or two more concepts today.
Yes, please continue. We are all with you. Please continue. This is wonderful. Please continue, Ji.
So yukta ahara, yukta vihara, yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Even my work has to be balanced. I tell you, 5 years back, day and night, I was thinking about my business and business and business. And I came out of it. I said, I have to do it for 8 hours now. And I don't carry my laptop home now. After going home, I am for home. I am for my people there. I am for myself. So, that yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya. What is swapna? Swapna is the dreaming position, that when we sleep, it is our dreaming position. So, yukta swapnava bodhasya. Bodha means awakening. When we are awake, that is bodha. So, how much to sleep and how much not to sleep is again samatva. So, yukta swapna, if we do this kind of samatva, you are yogi, and then yogi bhavati dukkha, then that yogi never come across any kind of sorrow. And that started happening with me. Whatever is coming, see, there is going to be sorrow and happiness and everything is going to come from outside. I have to take in a very balanced way, because they're all temporary, and whatever is temporary is going to end. So even the temporary happiness which is coming from outside is going to end after some time. And even the sorrow which is coming from outside is going to vanish after some time. So the thing which is going to vanish after some time, why I should think more about it and why I should react on it. So I started keeping myself cool. And I realized that, oh, Adi Yogi Shankara having Ganga on his head. Why that Ganga? Because it is cold water. And that Chandrama, the moon there, again the cold head is very important. So I started controlling myself. That samatva came in, and I started doing pranayam as well. Because about pranayam, amazing things have been told in Bhagwadgeeta. About pranayam, Bhagwadgeeta says that prana panu samo krutva nasabhyantaracharino. Pran and apan, exhalation and inhalation, if you can balance it. Prana panu samo krutva. Sama means balancing. So you start with count, or you start with any mantra. The outgoing and incoming breath should be equal. Do this exercise today. While sleeping, when you lie down, you kept your mobile on distance, and you have decided now you have to sleep. Do this exercise for 1 minute. And I tell you, within a minute's time, when you are balancing your exhalation and inhalation, prana panu samo krutva, unbelievable impact. You have a wonderful sleep that night. This is the beauty of pranayam. Apane juvhati pranam, pane pranam tatha pare. Pana prana pana gati rudva pranayama parayana. Holding prana pana gati rudva, pran and apan, the gati has to be stopped sometime. Pranayama parayana, that braking, that is the brake system. See, if my car, there are 3 basic things in car, the steering is there, accelerator is there, and brake is there. These are the 3 basic things. If there is something wrong with my steering, I slowly go to mechanic and I get it repaired. If there is some problem in accelerator, I go slowly to the mechanic and I get it repaired. But if there is something wrong in my brake, I cannot go to the mechanic. I have to bring the mechanic to my car, or I have to tow my car and take it to the garage and I have to repair it there. I cannot drive that car without a brake. And here, Kumbhaka is a brake. It's a brake. It's a system which really gives you strong brakes. Pranayamagati, pranayamagati rudhva, pranayama parayanaha. That is the excellency of pranayama. Apare niyataharaha, pranan praneshu juvvati, sarve pete yajnavido, yajna kshapita kalmasha. These are the things which gives you a control, because your breathing pattern is very well connected with your mind. You just check. If a dog attacks on you, you have not run, you have not done any kind of exercise, you have not done any respiratory exercise, and still you start breathing fast. What happened to you? There was nothing wrong. A dog came or a bad news came and I started breathing fast. What is the reason behind it? The reason is your breathing is very well connected with your mind. The mind goes into the deep sorrow or in fear or in any negative situation. The moment your mind goes into the negativity, your breathing pattern starts fast. This is the connection of your breathing with your mind. I have done some experiment in my school. I have started preaching pranayam to my students, and the moment they get the question paper in their hand, what they do is they keep it in front of them, they look at it, and then they do 10 times deep breathing, exhaling, pranapano samokrutva. They do it. And the exam phobia which exists in everybody, but in 10% students, it is much more than normal. All those, they could control their breathing, and the mind was controlled, and the exam phobia gone out. Unbelievable experiment it was. I keep on doing this kind of experiments with my students, and I could get wonderful results out of it. So pranayam is a charging mechanism, I tell you. That is C for charge. Here, it's charging you. You don't forget to charge your mobile, but you forget to charge yourself. You don't charge yourself and you're charging your mobile. Useless. I have to charge myself first, then my mobile. So it doesn't require much time. I have started devoting some 5 to 7 minutes for pranayam, and I started getting my dark skin white. The outer skin also started changing. You cannot imagine what kind of changes are happening from within. So you have to keep on charging yourself. The moment you charge yourself with pranayama, Gita says that pranayama parayanaha. Pranayam, you can miss out yogasana for a day, but you should not miss out pranayama for a single day. If you don't have enough time and you are in hurry, whenever you get time, do it for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and you see that you are charged like anything. And then it comes to pratyahara. That is the beautiful step in Ashtanga yoga. That is the middle step, because here you are going from outer yoga to inner yoga, and this is a connection, a bridge in between, the pratyahara. What is exactly pratyahara? There is a shloka which says that this mana, this mind, is your sixth organ. Mamai vangsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatanaha manashashtanindriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Mana is a shashtha indriya. Shashtha means sixth. Indriya means organ. Manashashtanindriyani, your mind is sixth organ, sensory organ, which is controlling all other 5 organs. And if you can control all these 6 organs, like a tortoise also have 6 organs out, his 4 legs and the mouth and the tail. That is the reason why you will see a tortoise statue is kept in the entry of every temple. In India, if you go in a temple, you will see a tortoise out. Tortoise, why tortoise? Tortoise means an animal which has control on his 6 organs. Whenever attack comes, if a dog comes, a lion comes, or anything wrong happens with it, the tortoise shrinks himself inside. He brings all his 6 organs inside. Bhagwan Krishna is saying, Yada samharate chayam kurmonga niva sarvashaha indriyan indriyarthebhyas tasya pradnya pratisthita. The person who is able to control his 6 organs, like tortoise, believe me, he can stabilize his intellect that moment. My 6 organs, I should be able to have control on it. Bhagavan is saying, Tani sarvani sayyamya yukta asitamat paraha vashehi yassendriyani tasya pradnya pratishtita. The person who keeps his all 6 organs in his own control, tasya pradnya pratishtita. His intellect gets stabilized, and the moment intellect gets stabilized, your mind comes into control, because your intellect is above your mind. Your mind is above your indriya, that is organs. Your mind is above your organs, but your intellect is above your mind. And your atma, the soul, is above your intellect. So, if you really want to control, that C is for control here. You have to control. On what? Control on your ego. That I am a rich person. Forget about it. You are not going to take anything with you. So, ego has to be dissolved here itself. Your emotions, your anger, your endearment, your attachment, your greed, your arrogance, your jealousy, your envy, your lust. These are the enemies. In 3rd chapter, Arjuna asks that who are the enemies? Now there, that time enemy was Duryodhana, the Kauravas were enemies. But the answer was entirely different. Krishna said that enemies, okay, listen to me. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma viddhena miha vairinam. Your greatest enemies are these 6 things. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsara. That is your ego, your emotion, your anger, your attachment, your greed, your arrogance, your jealousy and your lust. These are the enemies. You have to control over it. That is what is Pratyahara. That is what is Pratyahara. And the moment we take charge of ourselves, that is taking charge of yourself. That is why Krishna is having the charge of Arjuna's chariot. There the horses are called as Indriyas. And these horses are uncontrolled. But the moment my intellect, my Viveka controls it, that becomes Krishna for Arjuna. So Krishna was handling Arjuna's chariot. And he started telling that now see, the next C is about conception, your affirmation, your positivity. Whatever be the situation, be positive. That is called dharana. And dharana, you have to think in a positive way. The affirmations should be very strong. And just with the affirmations, you can control the outer paristhiti. See, if you keep on changing your paristhiti, that the outer things, nothing gets changed. The moment you change your manasthiti, the paristhiti changes. But to control your manasthiti, the mind, you have to control your atmasthiti first. So if Atmasthiti, that is my blissfulness, if I keep it awake all the time, my manasthiti will be that my mind will be in a happy mood. And the moment my mind is happy mood, the situation around me is under my control, because Atmasthiti changes your manasthiti and manasthiti changes your paristhiti as well. It's a beautiful connection. And with this connection, when you reach to dhyana tatraikagram manah kritva yata chittendriya kriyaha, and when you sit down for some time, just watching your breathing, or manasa puja, you are thinking of few good things around you, that is dharana, and all this negativity is going off and the positivity is flowing in, dharana. And when you can keep that sthiti for a long time, you reach to the ultimate stage of samadhi, where only happiness exists and no sorrows are there. That is what is samadhi. Those who are interested can join our Learn Gita program. There is a website called learngita.com. Everything is free, no charges. You can register for next month's batch. We start with 12th chapter, then 15th chapter, and then we start one by one all the chapters. So those who are interested can join our Learn Gita program. Learngita.com is the name of the website, and there you can register yourself. Beautiful experiences we all are taking, and I welcome you all to this divine path of Bhagwadgeeta, through which we can proceed on the Ashtanga Yoga Marga as well. Thank you very much for giving me this precious time and being attentive for all the time. Thank you very much. I bow down to all of you, and especially to my elder brother, my Guru, Dr. Ananda Balyogi ji. Pranam. Pranam to all of you, and keep blessing everyone, and we will change the world a day. Thank you very much. And if you have some questions, I will definitely like to answer few of them if time permits. The moment the time is over, please tell me.
Amazing, G. I think each and every one, and just as you were concluding, we had exactly 108 people logged in. We were in the very auspicious moment that came together. I was just watching it. Now someone's escaped, so it became 107, but it was exactly 108 at that moment. And I think every word that has come out of you today is a divine uvacha. The Bhagavan uvacha is happening through Dr. Sanjay Malpani ji today. What a beautiful perspective. What a beautiful perspective. And I would like to, before we ask any questions, I would like to ask my yoga research mentor and a great lover of the Bhagavad Gita, Professor Madan Mohan ji. He has, for the last so many decades, taken great interest in the Bhagavad Gita. He's been with us today. I see sir there, but I think he is frozen. So when he unfreezes, I'll get back to sir. Yes, sir. Sir, you need to unmute. I would like to have your comments for Dr. Sanjay Malpani ji and Dr. Madan Mohan sir. Yes, sir. If you can unmute, we would like a few of your short comments and blessings. Professor Madan Mohan ji is one of the senior most personalities of the yoga world, the yoga research world, my own yoga research mentor. Sir, you need to unmute, sir. पहले unmute करना पड़ेगा, sir.
Audible.
Yes,
Audible.
sir. Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Actually, I thought that I know a lot about Bhagavad Gita. You also think so, probably. But I learned many things today. Especially the comparison and some differences between. Actually, basically, difference is not there. The same thing. But what is this? What type of the vision is from Bhagavad Gita? New ideas, wider ideas. About pranayama, he said, and the balancing of mind, he said, which we don't find in the that much in the Ashtanga yoga. So that was very amazing to me, many points. And the lecture was delivered very nicely, proper speed also, but points were too many, so many. So it becomes, no, because beautiful, all points are beautiful. How much to retain? It is difficult to retain. So what I feel is at least points should be shared as a PowerPoint and later on also, yeah, because then we can recapitulate.
Yes.
So it's very amazing. Beautiful talk.
We'll
Beautiful.
be sharing the recording. We have been recording it. We'll share the recording
Yeah.
for people to go through many times. And also Nilachal, he has been making some notes along the way, and we'll share the Word document with the relevant stanza as Sanjay sir was describing them. Nilachal was putting them in the chat box. We'll have a Word document. Madan Mohan sir, your blessings for Sanjay ji is very, very important, because Madan Mohan sir, he did a lot of work.
Nowadays I am reading. Nowadays I am reading Ved Mantras. But now I am. He is Malpani has provoked me to again read Bhagwadgeeta.
You can
once more.
You can go to YouTube. You can go to YouTube. Those who somebody has written that we want to listen to this in Hindi. I have 51 episodes of 5 minutes on Bhagavad Gita, and I have given the title Jano Gita Bano Vijeta. Nothing about the spiritual part of it, but every day has to be spiritual, you know, not so-called spirituality. So you can go to Dr. Sanjay Malpani YouTube. On YouTube, you just put Sanjay Malpani, you will get the channel, and there a playlist, and on the playlist some 51 episodes on Bhagavad Gita are there. You will enjoy it. And those who want to listen to Bhagavad Gita, I have also put there my recorded versions, so you can listen to Bhagavad Gita chanting on that YouTube channel. So a few things I have uploaded there, not as like as Dr. Anandji, but a small seva I could put there on that YouTube, because I have to do so many things, and I have to take care of my business and my 3,500 family. I cannot devote more time on that part. So I could not do this PowerPoint presentations and all that. That is a shortcome, I can say.
So I
Actually,
think
one thing
I presentation.
Ananda, in Jipmar, when I was there before retired, last maybe at least 10 years, I have been giving lecture on Bhagavad Gita on the every Gandhi Jayanti. Everybody will be there. So I have idea. But in this lecture, I got many new insights. Not one, so many new insights. Yeah, so I will never forget the face of Malkanaji, and this whole, I will never forget. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your blessings, sir. It is very important because, as I said earlier, Professor Madan Mohanji, he has worked with Swamiji, my father, at Jipma. They did a lot of studies on Savitri Pranayama and all. Then I have had an opportunity to work under him, and he has been basically the best boss I have had at all my jobs in Jipma and then at Saiter. And he has been an amazing mentor. And this is why I especially invited him yesterday. I said, there's a session for our students. And he said, so logically, am I one of your students? I did not answer his question because he loves to tease us. I would like to also ask Michael from Ireland to make a few comments, because Michael has great knowledge, wisdom, beyond knowledge, wisdom. And I would like your perspective to be shared with Dr. Sanjay.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ananda. And thank you, Dr. Sanjay. It was a beautiful presentation and some really interesting insights. Yes, well, as I was listening to you speak, one of the things that struck me was that you were saying that the Gita really came into your life and its relevance to your corporate life and so on in your mid-40s, and that also, you know, you were teaching the Gita and inspiring other people in their work, like doctors and so on, and applying the relevance of the Gita to their work. And I was saying to myself as I was listening to that, and it was probably naive on my part, would the Gita and its wisdom not have been imparted with mother's milk to people in India? I've always assumed that the Gita was really, and its wisdom was really taught in schools and in the households. So that I must say that took me by surprise. And I also was interested, when you mentioned about the Gita's wisdom, and Krishna says, this wisdom was known. It's nothing new that I'm giving. This is something that was already there, but was lost in the aeons of time, and I am now imparting it again for the first time. And I said to myself, how on earth did such wisdom get lost? Because we were talking about the part, and this, again, it shows how important the parampara tradition is for continuing the transmission of such amazing wisdom. I was brought up in a Christian tradition here in Ireland, but I realized, the wisdom of the Gita touches on all the scriptures of the world. I think Ramakrishna once said to someone, have you got a copy of the Gita in your house? And the person replied, yes. And he said, I am glad to hear that. It contains all the scriptures. And I thought to myself, yes, it contains everything, and you can apply it for the loftiest reason, but you can also apply it in the householder context, as you have done, sir, and as you have articulated so with such an inspiring way. So thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Michael, for those kind comments. And I did notice that chat box question, that when yoga got lost, how did it get lost? That is a good question. I think it's worth going deep into.
Yeah. Generally it happens when a person get lost, yoga get lost. Because when a person get lost in outerly things, inner yoga gets lost. It is so simple. So when it reaches till Vidu, and thereafter, he was a king. And when a person is a king, it was very natural that he got lost in his outerly fun. So he forgot about it. And then that tradition stopped there itself. But when we are awake from within, the yoga continues. So for some time that yoga was disappeared. Even in our own life, it happens so that sometime in crisis we forget it, but again it comes in, and again we awake ourselves and we start doing it. So it is so obvious.
Yes, yeah. Yes, that throws some interesting light on it. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it from that perspective. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that beautiful explanation, G. I would like to ask Bharata Bill Francis Berry from North America to give some of his comments. A very dedicated sadhaka with amazing jnana and prajna. So wishing you to say a few words. Bill is given the name as Bharata.
Thank you, Dr. Malpani. Thank you so much for this wisdom. Very inspiring to hear this wisdom in the context of your work as a business leader, as a successful business person, the integration of the wisdom of the Dharma teachings on the battlefield of life, in the battlefield of business and honoring your customers and the wisdom of how you approach the application of Lord Krishna's teachings in the business practice. Very inspiring, and also very inspiring to hear the examples of reminding us that we are all living on the battlefield, and the battle is going on within our mind, and this is why I greatly appreciate your reminder that we do the practice every day. We do the internal attunements every day. So thank you for the inspiration in this very practical application of Lord Krishna's teachings in the midst of a busy life, in the midst of all the responsibilities that we all face. So thank you so much, Dr. Malpani. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear Bharata, for those beautiful words. I'd like to request Uday ji, who's very close in Maharashtra, in Pune, a very long time yoga sadhaka and yogacharya, trained in the Kaivalya Dharma tradition. And he is blessing us with his love all the time. So Uday ji, I would like to request you to say a few words on this occasion also.
First of all, Namaste Malpani ji. So, in a way, the Ganges from Nasik and Sangamner is flowing all over the world. That's the way I would say Sangamner and Nasik, where Ram was there for quite some years, I'm told. And we have been using references of Bhagwadgeeta like Yukta Ahara Vihara, Samam Kaya Shiro Griva, then the Dvandvas which are talked about, etc. But unfortunately, I got so much involved with Yoga and Sutras alone that Bhagavad-Gita has got a bit neglected, I would say. But we need to really peep into the Bhagavad-Gita dimension, because it, I think, talks of much more broader dimension than just the Ashtanga Yoga part. Though Ashtanga Yoga by itself is an independent management tool as we see it. It's in fact, if I have to say a few things about the yoga and the Yoga Sutras, and Anand Bal Yogi ji has been training us so beautifully. Even though I have studied sutras, but what is happening of late is sutra by sutra, repetition and revision, has transformed us so beautifully. One of the things which is so peculiar of sutras, which I think you can look at it, whether similarity exists in Bhagavad Gita, it is the most scientific way of trying to look at existence. Sutras have not brought a question beginning with why. It is like science, everything is based on what and how. What is an asana or how is an asana? Everything is explained in the same term. Why an asana is not a question asked in the sutras at all, because Patanjali, I think, was a scientist as a superhuman scientist, which did not want a dilemma like why. Okay, so there is nothing like why in it. Everywhere it's one after the other. Yes, here I offer you from this moment to moment the science of yoga. Then he is explaining what is niruddha, what is chitta vritti, then panchataya klishtaha. So he just goes on. This is so, that is so. This is so, that is so. But quite often, I think in Bhagavad Gita, there are questions beginning with why. So this, I think, is a slight difference that I feel could be there between the understanding of where Gita could be a bit different than the Ashtanga Yoga component. My teacher always said, it is always why is something, why was I born? You need to have some hypothesis. Why am I black? You need to have some hypothesis. Whereas in Yoga Sutras, you will not find a single sutra wherein you can pose a question with why. And that is where I think, in a way, I'm not saying for or against, I'm just trying to comparatively look at the difference. I'm so happy with the way sutras, because then, there is no dilemma. everybody on a plate of universality is able to accept the Yoga Sutras, because the question of why just doesn't come in. Even the concept of Ishvara is so peculiarly put on, something which is Kal Anavachedata Purvesham api Guruhu, Kal Anavachedata, earliest of the earliest, indivisible by time. So it is so well defined, you don't need anything as a supportive system. Then the term is bhavana. Everywhere the issue is bhavana. So I feel that japas tadartha bhavanam. So that bhavanam concept, today the world is lacking bhavana. What you said, I'm making this food for whom? Okay, I'm making this food for whom? That bhavana is missing. Everybody is having calories, but where is the bhavana in that calories? I'm making this chapati for my son, and for that mother. That son is Sonia. Sonia is God-like, gold-like. Even the dog which is there at the door is just a helper, a friend. But that bhavana, if is missing, I think the whole thing is going totally topsy-turvy because of the bhavana not being there. I had given one example way back, that suppose somebody asks you for a glass of water and he just bangs that glass, okay, in front of you, the water will lose all its potentiality. Instead of you feeling thirsty, you will feel vomiting. Okay, just the other way around. Sir, please have it. So, the hand is not just this limb. It is from the heart that this glass is being offered. So that water becomes potentized. This is what I think bhavana is all about. And Bhagwadgeeta also has been talking about bhavana in a big way, but Yoga Sutras have given it a very scientific validation. So far as Omkara, Tat Japas Tadartha Bhavanam, the japa of that particular pranava gives you the bhavana, a glimpse of what Ishwar is. Now, it is this little glimpse that one is looking for. You get that glimpse, that is enough. That glimpse is going to help you like a thin thread. You will be able to build up a rope, and yes, you can reach the moon with that particular rope. I think I will, I'm a orator myself, and for last 48 years, I've just been talking and talking every day. Even now, what I'm missing a bit is my management students, because my management college got closed. So I'm missing that. Thank you, Balyogi, to allow me to ventilate a bit. Few scattered concepts, but I think my love for Bhagwadgeeta is going to start percolating soon. One of my friends has joined your Gita.com site, so I think I will try and do or little injustice that I have done. I will try to make it up by doing justice. And thank you once again, Anand Balyogi and Sanjay Uvachaji. Thank you.
Such a beautiful point brought out by Udayji, and it's wonderful when we think of the amazing experience that is there in the Zoom room. We have at least close to 1,000 years of experience when you think about it. It's amazing actually when you think of the number of people with 30, 40, 50 years of yoga sadhana. So a very special audience here. And we will end with some comments from one of the greatest psychiatrists of India, a great man, a man who is bridging spirituality with psychiatry, and that is my dear Dr. Ramareddy Tariji. He is a BC Roy awardee and one of the most humble people I know, wise and humble. Please, sir, a few words of blessings from your side.
Namaste, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Actually, when you were giving the aura about the speaker, I was wondering what a personality we are going to have. Really, the proof of pudding we could see. He has given everything in the form of a capsule. As Madan Mohanji was telling, so much of information, so palatable, all the vitamins, all the antioxidants, all the nourishing things in a capsule form he has given. And the menu card which he has given is so tempting that I think we all will be joining in his course. It seems so. And also Bhagwadgeeta, as a psychiatrist of so many decades experience, I affirm that that is the best psychotherapeutic tool ever devised, because it is Bhagavan's, not about the Bhagavan's devotion, but we have witnessed Western things like Freud's, Jung's, Adler's, and so many things. Even now also so many new things like CBT, transactional analysis, so many things are coming. But everything, when we go back, everything we could find in Bhagavad-Gita itself. And as a karma yogi, practically he has applied the principles which he has learned or which he has read, and that is the real essence of this one. And also as a businessman, every businessman thinks in terms of not short-term goals, but long-term goals he thinks. But here, this businessman thinks about the longest goal, and he has applied them in his life. So very nice of you, sir. Pranams to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ji. We will be concluding today's session, and it's been a massive experience of Anandam. Anandam, Anandam, Satchidanandam, Paramanandam, Yoganandam has manifested today. And definitely, the more I listen to Sanjay Malpani ji, I am sure that in some lifetime you were Sanjaya, in some lifetime. So definitely there's some connection there. It is a feeling that comes from my Hridaya, which is the Chitta Sambit. And the Hridaya is telling me that. And the second thing I also wanted to point out is, you know, in ancient India, we have had great Raja Rishis. We have had people who have been in charge of managing countries and kingdoms. And today we can even think of, you know, the big businesses as a kingdom that are being managed. And I think of Sanjay Malpani ji as like Raja Janaka. For me, Raja Janaka comes to mind because Janaka was in the midst of all the day-to-day management. He had to take care of the country. He had to get the resources. And what I loved is you keep on coming back to those 3,500 families that are to be nourished by you and your responsibility, your dharma towards them. That is a Raja Dharma. Now, I'm not even talking about the political and leadership. I'm talking about in this context, I feel that the concept of Janaka as someone who was a benevolent ruler and who could manage the external without losing the internal. I think that I see in you, sir. So I think along with all your other names and titles, we should bring about something regarding Janaka and something regarding Sanjaya in the future for you, because I see in you a Jnana Yogi, a Karma Yogi, and someone who is also on the way to becoming a Raja Yogi. So my great regard to you, sir. I have been totally blown away by your humility, your willingness to learn. I have seen firsthand your management capabilities in our recently concluded Yogasana Championships. And I've seen you to be a person who are bringing these teachings into your day-to-day life. So my hearty congratulations to you, sir. My gratitude to you on behalf of our Vishwa Yoga Parivaar. And I'm sure many of them are going to take up the study of Bhagavad Gita in right earnest after this session. Thank you so much, Dr. Sanjay Malpani ji. It's been such a pleasure to have you with us. We will conclude. Yes, ji. Yes, ji. A few words before we conclude, ji.
Just do a simple thing. Just do a simple thing. I have came across a wonderful prayer that is in Hindi. I think our session should end with the prayer.
Yes.
And that prayer, which is in Hindi, I would like to say some lines from that prayer.
Yes. Yes, please.
जीवों का कलरव जो दिन भर सुनने में मेरे आवे, तेरा ही गुणगान जान मन प्रमुदित हो अति सुख पावे। प्रतिपल निज इंद्रिय समूह से जो कुछ भी आचार करूं, केवल तुझे रिझाने को बस तेरा ही व्यवहार करूं, तेरा ही व्यवहार करूं।
Wonderful, wonderful, Ji. I think that is the best way to end today's session with those beautiful blessings. So thank you, everybody, for joining in today. Thank you once again, Dr. Sanjay Malpani Ji. We look forward to many more sessions in the future with you to go deeper into this amazing teaching. Thank you for being you. Thank you for manifesting the Gita through you, personifying those teachings. Dhanyavadaha. Namaste.